Leela and the Laughing Cloud. Once upon a sunny morning in the little village of Blossom Vale, where flowers bloomed in every color of the rainbow and the air smelled like fresh honey, lived a curious 6-year-old girl named Lila. Lila had sparkling brown eyes, a tangle of curly hair, and a smile that could make even the grumpiest frog hop with joy. She loved exploring the meadows, chasing butterflies, and asking questions about everything. Why do clouds float? She'd ask her mom. How do birds know where to fly? She'd pester her dad. But today, Leela was about to discover something so magical that even her wildest questions couldn't have prepared her for it. It all began when Lila skipped out to the meadow behind her house, her favorite place to play. The sky was a brilliant blue, dotted with fluffy white clouds that looked like giant cotton balls. Lila plopped down on the soft grass, her yellow sundress fanning out around her, and stared up at the sky. She loved imagining shapes in the clouds, a bunny here, a castle there. But today, one cloud caught her eye. It wasn't like the others. It was rounder, puffier, and it seemed to shimmer with a faint golden glow. And then, to Leela's amazement, it giggled. Lila sat up straight, her eyes wide. "Clouds don't giggle," she said aloud, rubbing her eyes to make sure she wasn't dreaming. But there it was, again, a soft, bubbly laugh, like the sound of a happy baby or a tinkling bell. The cloud wiggled, as if it were tickled, and floated lower, closer to Lila. "Hello," Lila called, her voice a mix of curiosity and caution. "Are you a cloud?" The cloud giggled again, and this time it spoke. "Oh, hello, hello. I'm not just any cloud, little one. I'm a laughing cloud." Its voice was light and airy, like a breeze carrying a tune. "My name's Puffy, and I travel the world spreading laughter. Want to come along?" Leela's heart raced with excitement. A talking cloud, an adventure. She didn't even need to think twice. "Yes, please," she shouted, clapping her hands. "But, how do I come with you? You're all the way up there." Puffy chuckled and puffed out a little gust of sparkly mist that swirled around Leela. The mist tickled her nose, and before she could sneeze, she felt herself lifting off the ground. "Wee," Leela squealed as she floated upward, light as a feather, until she was sitting right on top of Puffy. The cloud felt soft and bouncy, like a giant marshmallow. "Hold on tight," Puffy said, and with a whoosh they zoomed up into the sky. Lila giggled as the wind tickled her cheeks. Below, Blossom Vale shrank smaller and smaller, until it looked like a patchwork quilt of green fields and colorful rooftops. The world stretched out in every direction, vast and beautiful. "Where are we going?" Leela asked, her eyes sparkling with wonder. "To find the Grumpy Valley," Puffy replied. "There's a village there where everyone's forgotten how to laugh. They're all so serious, and I need your help to cheer them up." Leela nodded eagerly. She loved making people smile, whether it was by telling silly jokes or doing cartwheels in the meadow. "I'm ready," she declared. As they soared over mountains and rivers, Puffy told Leela all about the Grumpy Valley. Long ago, the people there had been the happiest in the world, famous for their big, booming laughs that echoed through the hills. But one day, a gloomy fog had settled over the valley, and with it came a spell that made everyone forget how to laugh. "I've tried tickling them with my misty breezes," Puffy said, "but it's not enough. Laughter needs a spark, and I think you're just the spark we need, Lila." Soon, the bright blue sky gave way to a gray, misty haze, and Leela saw the Grumpy Valley below. The houses were dull and gray, the trees drooped, and the people shuffled along with frowns so deep they looked carved into their faces. Even the dogs didn't wag their tails. Lila's heart sank. "Oh, Puffy, this place needs us," she said. Puffy floated down to the village square, where a crowd of grumpy villagers was gathered, muttering about their chores. Lila hopped off the cloud, landing with a little bounce. "Hello everyone," she called, waving enthusiastically. The villagers looked up, their frowns deepening. "Who's this noisy child?" grumbled an old man with a beard like a tangled broom. "What's that fluffy thing?" muttered a woman carrying a basket of wilted cabbages. Lila wasn't discouraged. She knew just what to do. She took a deep breath and started telling her favorite silly story. Once, there was a chicken who thought she was a superhero. She began, flapping her arms like wings. She called herself Super Cluck, and tried to fly to the moon, but she kept landing in the duck pond instead. A few children in the crowd blinked, their frowns softening just a tiny bit. Lila kept going, making quacking noises and pretending to splash in an imaginary pond. Puffy joined in, puffing out little bursts of sparkly mist that tickled the villagers' noses. One little boy let out a tiny giggle, then clapped his hand over his mouth, surprised. "That's it," Lila cheered. "Let's laugh together." She started doing her silliest dance, twirling and hopping while singing, Super Cluck, flies to the moon with lots of luck." Puffy floated above, giggling and sprinkling more sparkly mist. The boy giggled again, louder this time, and soon his sister joined in. Their laughter was like a pebble dropped in a pond, rippling out to the others. One by one, the villagers' frowns began to crack. The old man with the beard chuckled, his laugh rusty but warm. The woman with the cabbages snorted, then laughed so hard she dropped her basket. The children ran to Lila, copying her dance and laughing until their cheeks turned pink. Even the dogs started barking happily, chasing their tails. "Look, Puffy," Lila cried. "They're laughing." Puffy twirled in the air, glowing brighter than ever. "You did it, Lila. You broke the spell." As the villagers laughed, the gloomy fog began to lift, and rays of sunlight poked through the clouds. The houses seemed to brighten, the trees stood taller, and the whole valley buzzed with joy. The villagers gathered around Lila, thanking her with big smiles. "You've brought back our laughter," said the old man, his beard bouncing as he chuckled. The children hugged Lila, and the woman with the cabbages gave her a shiny red apple. Lila beamed, her heart full. "It was easy," she said. "Laughter just needs a little spark." As the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, Puffy floated down beside Lila. "Time to go home, little spark," the cloud said. Lila climbed back onto Puffy, waving goodbye to the villagers, who were now dancing and singing in the square. The journey back to Blossom Vale was peaceful, with stars beginning to twinkle above. Lila yawned, feeling cozy and content. "Puffy, will I see you again?" she asked sleepily. "Oh, I'm sure you will," Puffy said with a giggle. "Whenever you hear a laugh in the sky, that's me. And you, Lila, can spread laughter wherever you go." Puffy gently lowered Lila back to the meadow, and with one last tickle of sparkly mist, the cloud floated away, giggling into the night. Lila ran home, bursting with stories to tell her parents, though she wasn't sure they'd believe her. But as she looked up at the starry sky, she heard a faint bubbly laugh, and she knew Puffy was out there, spreading joy. From that day on, Lila never stopped sharing her laughter. Whether she was telling silly stories, dancing in the meadow, or helping a friend smile, she knew she carried a little spark of magic. And somewhere, high above, a laughing cloud named Puffy was giggling along with her. The end.